Rigveda 9.96 Soma Papamana. 24 verses. In forefront of the cars, forth goes the hero, the leader winning spoil. His host rejoices. Soma endues his robes of lasting colors, and blesses for his friends their calls on Indra. Men decked with gold adorn his golden tendril, incessantly with steed impelling homage. The friend of Indra mounts his car, well knowing he comes thereon to meet the prayer we offer. O God, for service of the gods, flow onward, for food sublime as Indra's drink, O Soma, making the floods bedewing earth and heaven. Come from the vast, comfort us while we cleanse thee. Flow for prosperity and constant vigor. Flow on for happiness and high perfection. This is the wish of these friends assembled. This is my wish, O Soma Papamana. Father of holy hymns, Soma flows onward, the father of the earth, father of heaven, father of Agni, Surya's generator, the father who beget Indra and Vishnu, Brahman of gods, the leader of the poets, Risha of sages, bull of savage creatures, falcon amid the vultures, axe of forests. Over the cleansing sieve goes Soma singing. He, Soma Papamana, like a river, hath stirred the wave of voice, our songs and praises, beholding these inferior powers in cattle. He rests among them as a steer well knowing, as Gladner, warrior, never harmed in battle, with 1,000 genial streams. Pour strength and vigor, as thoughtful Papamana. Urge, O Indu, speeding the kine, the plants wave, on to Indra. Dear grateful to the gods, on to the beaker moves Soma, sweet to Indra to delight him. With 100 powers, with 1,000 currents, Indu, like a strong car horse, goes to the assembly, born in old time, as finder out of treasures. Drained with the stone, decking himself in waters, warding off curses, king of all existence, he shall find way for prayer, the while they cleanse him. For our sage father Soma Papamana of old performed by thee their sacred duties. Fighting unvanquished, open the enclosures, enrich us with large gifts of steeds and heroes, as thou didst flow for Manu, life bestowing, foe queller, comforter, rich in oblations, even thus flow onward now, conferring riches. Combine with Indra, and bring forth thy weapons. Flow onward, Soma, rich in sweets and holy, enrobed in waters, on the fleecy summit. Settle in vessels that are full of fatness, as cheering and most gladdening drink for Indra. Pour 100 streamed, winner of thousands, mighty at the gods' banquet. Pour the rain of heaven, while thou with rivers roarest in the beaker, and blent with milk prolongest our existence. Purified with our holy hymns, this Soma o'ertakes malignancies like some strong charger, like fresh milk poured by Aditya, like passage and ample room, are like a docile car horse, cleansed by the pressers, armed with noble weapons. Stream to us the fair secret name thou bearest. Poor booty like a horse. For the love of glory, God Soma send us kine and send us value. They deck him at his birth. The lovely infant, the Marutas with their troop, adorn the car horse. By songs, a poet, and a sage by wisdom, Soma goes singing through the cleansing filter. Light winner, Risha-minded, Risha-maker, hymned in 1,000 hymns, leader of sages, a steer who strives to gain his third form. Soma is like Viraj, resplendent as a singer, hawk-seated in the bowls, bird wide extended, the banner seeking kine and wielding weapons. Following close the sea, the wave of waters, the great bull tells his fourth form and declares it, like a fair youth who declares his body, who decorates his body. A courser, rushing to the gang of riches, a steer to herds, so flowing to the pitcher, he with a roar hath passed into the beakers. Flow on with might as Papamana, Indu flow loudly roaring through the fleecy filter. Enter the beakers sporting as they cleanse thee, and let thy gladdening juice make Indra joyful. His streams have been effused in all their fullness, and he hath entered, balmed with milk, the goblets, singing his psalm, well singed in song. A chanter becomes, as 'twere, to his friend's sister roaring. Chasing our foes thou comest, Pavamana Indu, besting as lover to his darling. As a bird flies and settles in the forest, thus Soma settles, purified in goblets. With full stream and abundant milk, O Soma, thy beams come, like a woman, as they cleanse thee. He gold-hued, rich in boons, brought to the waters, hath roared within the goblet of the pious. And it's talked about differently. Some talk about like there's an umbilical cord that goes forth from your body and people astral travel that way. Some talk about tentacles. Some talk about their feelers otherwise. And vampirism isn't necessarily something malicious either. Hymn 9.97, Soma, Pavamana, 58 verses. Made pure by this man's urgent zeal and impulse, the god hath to the gods his juice imparted. He goes effused and singing to the filter, like priest to measured seats, supplied with cattle, robed in fair raiment, meet to wear in battle, a mighty sage pronouncing invocations. Roll onward to the beakers as they cleanse thee, far sing at the feast of gods and watchful. Dear, he is brightened on the fleecy summit, a prince among us, nobler than the noble. Roar out as thou art purified. Run forward, do ye preserve us evermore with blessings. Let us sing praises to the gods, sing loudly. Send ye the Soma forth for mighty riches. Let him flow sweetly flavored through the filter, and let our pious one rest in the pitcher. Winning the friendship of the deities, Indu flows in 1,000 streams to make them joyful, praised by the men after the ancient statute. He hath come nigh for our great bliss to Indra. Flow gold-hued, cleansing thee to enrich the singer. Let thy juice go to Indra to support him. Come nigh together with the gods for bounty. Do ye preserve us evermore with blessings. The god declares the deities' generations like Usana proclaiming lofty wisdom. With a brilliant kin, far-rolling sanctifying, the boar advances singing to the places. These swans, the Vrishaganas, from anear us, have brought their restless spirit to our dwelling. Friends come to Pavamana, meet for praises, and sound in concert their resistless music. He follows the white strider's rapid movement, cows low as 'twere to him who sports at pleasure. He with the sharpened horns brings forth abundance. The silvery shines by night, by day the golden, strong Indu bathed in milk, flows on for Indra, Soma exciting strength to make him joyful. He quells malignancies and slays the demons, the king of mighty power, who brings us comfort. Then in a stream he flows, milked out with press stones, mingled with sweetness, through the fleecy filter. Indu rejoicing in the love of Indra, the god who gladdens. For the god's enjoyment, as he is purified, he pours out treasures. A god bedewing gods with his own juices. Indu hath, wearing qualities by seasons, on the raised fleece engaged, the 10 swift fingers, the red bull bellowing to the kine advances, causing the heavens and earth to roar and thunder. Well is he, beard like Indra's shout in battle. Letting his voice be known, he hastens hither, swelling with milk, abounding in sweet flavors, urging the meat-rich plant, thou goest onward, raising a shout that flowest as they cleanse thee. When thou, O Soma, art effused for Indra, so flow thou on, inspiriting, for rapture, aiming death shafts at him who stays the waters. Flow to us, wearing thy resplendent color, effused and eager for the kine, O Soma. Pleased with us, Indu, send us, as thou flowest, good easy paths, and ample space and comforts, dispelling as 'twere with a club misfortunes run o'er the height, run o'er the fleecy summit. Pour on us rain celestial, quickly streaming, refreshing, fraught with health and ready bounty. Flow Indu, send these winds, thy lower kinsmen. settling them free like locks of hair unbraided, part like a knotted tangle, while they cleanse thee, O Soma, righteous and unrighteous conduct, nay, like a tawny courser who is loosened, come like a youth, O God, a house possessor, for the God's service, for delight, O Indu, run o'er the height, run o'er the fleecy summit, with thousand streams and violet, sweet-scented, flow on, for gang of strength that conquers heroes, without a car, without a rein to guide them, unyoked, like coursers started in their contest. The brilliant drops of Soma juice run forward. Do ye, O deities, come nigh to drink them. So far a banquet of the gods, O Indu, pour down the rain of heaven into the vessels. May Soma grant us riches sought with longing, mighty, exceeding strong, with store of heroes. What time the loving spirit's word had formed him chief of all food, by statute of the highest. Then loudly lowing came the cows to Indu, the chosen, well-loved master, in the beaker. The sage celestial liberal raining bounties pours as he flows, the genuine for the truthful. The king shall be effectual strength's upholder. He by the 10 bright rains is mostly guided. He who beholds mankind made pure with filters, the king supreme with deities and mortals. From days of old is treasure lord of riches. He Indu cherishes fair, well-kept order. Haste like a steed to victory for glory, to Indra's and to values entertainment. Give us food, ample thousandfold be. Soma, the finder out of riches, when they cleanse thee, effused by us, let God-delighting Somas bring, as they flow, a home with noble heroes, rich in all boons like priests acquiring favor, the worshippers of heaven, the best of cheerers. So God, for service of the gods, flow onward. Flow, drink of gods, for ample food, O Soma, for we go forth to war against the mighty, make heaven and earth well established by thy cleansing. Thou yoked by strong men, nighest like a courser, swifter than thought is, like an awful lion. By paths directed hitherward, the straightness send thou happiness into, while they cleanse thee. Sprung from the gods 100 streams, 1,000 have been effused. Sages prepare and purge them, bring us from heaven the means of winning into. Thou art forerunner of abundant riches, the streams of days, reportest where from heaven the wise king doth not treat his friend unkindly, like a son following his father's wishes. Grant to this family success and safety. Now are thy streams poured forth with all their sweetness. When purified thou goest through the filter, the race of kine is thy gift. Pavamana, when born thou madest Surya rich with brightness. Right bellowing along the path of order, thou shinest as the form of life eternal. Thou flowest on as gladdening drink for Indra, sending thy voice out with the hymns of sages, pouring out streams at the gods' feast with service. Thou, Soma, lookest down, a heavenly eagle, enter the Soma holding beaker, Indu, and with a roar approach the ray of Surya. 3 are the voices that the courser utters. He speaks the thought of prayer, the law of order. To the cow's master come, the cows inquiring. The hymns with eager longing come to Soma. To Soma come the cows, the milch kine longing. To Soma sages with their hymns inquiring. Soma effused is purified and blended. Our hymns and tush-tube songs unite in Soma. The Soma, as we pour thee into vessels, while thou art purified, flow for our welfare. Pass into Indra with a mighty roaring, make the voice swell and generate abundance. Singer of true songs, ever watchful, Soma hath settled in the ladles when they cleanse him. Him the Avaryus, paired and eager, follow. Leaders of sacrifice and skillful handed, cleansed near the sun, as 'twere he as creator, hath filled heaven and earth, and hath disclosed them. He by whose dear help men gain all their wishes shall yield the precious mead as to a victor. He being cleansed, the strengthener and increaser, Soma the bounteous, helped us with his luster, wherewith our sires of old, who knew the footsteps, found light, and stole the cattle from the mountain. In the first vault of heaven, loud roared the ocean, king of all being, generating creatures. Steer in the filter, on the fleecy summit, Soma the drop effused, hath waxen mightily. Soma the steer and that, as child of waters, he chose the gods perform the great achievement. He, Papamana, granted strength to Indu. He, Indu, generated light in Surya. Make Vayu glad for furtherance and bounty. Cheer Varuna and Mitra as they cleanse thee. Gladden the gods, gladden the host of Marutas, make heaven and earth rejoice, O God, O Soma. Flow onward, righteous slayer of the wicked, driving away our enemies in sickness, blending thy milk with milk, which cows afford us. We are thy friends, thou art the friend of Indra. Pour us a fount of mead, a spring of treasure. Send us a hero's son and happy fortune. Be sweet to India when they cleanse thee, Indu, and pour down riches on us from the ocean. Strong Soma, pressed like an impetuous courser, hath flowed in stream as a flood speeding downward. Cleansed he hath settled in his wooden dwelling. Indu hath flowed with milk and with the waters. Strong wise for thee, who longest for his coming, this Soma here flows to the bowls, O Indra. He, chariot-born, sun-bright, and truly potent, was poured forth like the longing of the pious. He purified with ancient vital vigor, pervading all his daughters' forms and figures, finding his threefold refuge in the waters, goes singing as a priest to the assemblies. Now chariot-born flow unto us. Soma, as thou art purified, flow to the saucers. Sweetest in waters, rich in meat, and holy as Savitar the god is, truthful-minded. To feast him, flow mid-song and hymn to Vayu, flow purified to Varuna and Mitra, flow to the song-inspiring car-born hero, to mighty Indra, him who wields the thunder, pour on us garments that shall clothe us meetly, send purified, milch-kine, abundant yielders, God Soma, send us chariot-drawing horses, that they may bring us treasures, bright and golden, send to us in a stream celestial riches, send us, when thou art cleansed, what earth containeth, so that thereby we may acquire possessions and rishahood in Jamanagni's manner. Pour forth this wealth with this purification. Flow onward to the yellow lake, O Indu. Here too the ruddy wind-swift, full of wisdom, shall give a son to him who cometh quickly. Flow on for us with this purification to the famed ford of thee, whose dew is glory. May the foe-queller shake us down for triumph, like a tree's ripe fruit. 60,000 treasures, eagerly do we pray for those two exploits at the Blue Lake and Prasanna. Wrought in battle, he sent our enemies to sleep and slew them, and turned away the foolish and unfriendly. Thou comest unto 3 extended filters, and hastenest through each one as they cleanse thee. Thou art the giver of the gift, a Bhaga, a Magavan for liberal lords, O Indu. This Soma here, the wise, the all-obtainer, flows on his way as king of all existence. Driving the drops at our assemblies, Indu completely traverses the fleecy filter. The Greet and Violet are kissing Indu and singing in his place like eager sages. The wise men send him forth with 10 swift fingers and balm his form with essence of the waters. Soma, may we, as Pavamana, pile up together all our spoil in battle. This boon vouchsafe us, Varuna and Mitra, and Aditya and Sindhu, earth and heaven. Indu and Sindhu are. When we talk about India, we don't mean just the modern nation of India. We mean the entire area of those 4 tribes, which form the race that people might call Hindu. And just because the priests and the governmental classes, hopefully they fight their own wars, right? But just because they're in charge doesn't mean that they're justified. They are supposed to be representing the spiritual order, the principles and all that. But they have to make that choice, because that position of rulership doesn't make them justified. What they do with it does. Hymn 9.96, Soma Pavamana, 12 verses. Stream on us riches that are sought by many, best at winning strength. Riches, O Indu, thousandfold, glorious, conquering the great. Effused he hath, as on a car, invested him in fleecy mail, Onward hath Indu flowed in streams, impelled, surrounded by the wood. Effused this Indu hath flowed on, distilling rapture to the fleece. He goes erect as seeking kine in stream, with light to sacrifice, for thou thyself, O Indu, God to every mortal worshipper, attractest riches thousandfold, made manifest in 100 forms. Good virtuous layer, may we be still nearer to this wealth of thine, which many crave, nearest to food and happiness, resistless one, whom, bright with native splendor, crushed between the pair of pressing stones, the wavy friend whom Indra loves, the twice 5 sisters dip and bathe. Him with the fleece they purify, brown-hued, golden-hued. Him with the fleece they purify, brown, golden-hued, beloved of all, who with exhilarating juice goes forth to all the deities. Through longing for this sap of yours, ye drink what brings ability. Even him who, dear as heaven's own light, gives to our princes high renown. Indu at holy rites produced you, heaven and earth, the friends of men. Hill-haunting, God the goddess, they bruised him where the roar was loud. For virtue-slaying Indra, thou, Soma, art poured, that he may drink, poured for the guerdon-giving man, poured for the god who sitteth there. These ancient Somas at the break of day have flowed into the sieve, snorting away at early morn these foolish, evil-hearted ones. Friends, may the princes, ye and we, obtain this most resplendent one. Gang him who hath the smell of strength, win him whose home is very strength. And it's interesting, the idea that between heaven and earth, or among heaven and earth, produces heaven and earth, and even, the material level. Well, we know that after the Big Bang, things kind of condensed. Hymn 999, Samapavamana, 8 verses. They for the bold and lovely one ply manly vigor like a bow. Joyous in front of songs, they weave bright raiment for the Lord divine. And he made beautiful by night, dips forward into strengthening food. What time the sacrificer's thoughts speed on his way, the golden hued, we cleanse this gladdening drink of his, the juice which Indra chiefly drinks, that which kine took into their mouths of old, and princes take it now. To him, while purifying, they have raised the ancient psalm of praise, and sacred songs which bear the names of gods have supplicated him. They purify him as he drops courageous in the fleecy sieve. Him they instruct as messenger to bear the sage's morning prayer. Soma, best cheerer, takes his seat, the while they cleanse him in the bowls. He, as it were, impregnates the cow and babbles on. The Lord of Song, he is effused and beautified, a god for gods by skillful men. He penetrates the mighty floods, collecting all he knows therein. Pressed into, guided by the men, thou art led to the cleansing sieve. Thou yielding Indra, highest joy, takest thy seat within the bowls. All these material things, they are means, and how God is going to react on you, or how the spiritual reality, other than, your own self, well, that's how you direct it. He's like, why would God throw it? It's like, well, you put yourself in hell, whatever, right? Hymn 900, Soma Pavamana. The guileless ones are singing praise to Indra's well-beloved friend, as in the morning of its life, the mothers lick the newborn calf. O Indu, while they cleanse thee bring, O Soma, doubly waxing wealth, thou in the worshipper's abode causest all treasures to increase. Set free the song which mind hath yoked, even as thunder frees the rain. All treasures of the earth and heaven, O Soma, thou dost multiply. Thy stream, when thou art pressed, runs on like some victorious warrior's steed, hastening onward through the fleece, like a fierce horse who wins the prize. Flow on, sage Soma, with thy stream to give us mental power and strength. Effused for Indra, for his drink, for Mitra and Varuna. Flow to the filter, with thy stream effused. Best winner, thou as spoil, O Soma, as most rich in sweets for Indra, Vishnu, and the gods. The mothers, void of guiles, caress thee golden-colored in the sieve, as cows of Pavamana lick the newborn calf, as law commands. Thou, Pavamana, movest on with wondrous ways to great renown, striving within the votary's house. Thou drivest all the glooms away. Lord of great sway, thou liftest thee above the heavens, above the earth. Thou, Pavamana, hast assumed thy coat of mail and majesty. And if we think about it, when we talk about the light beings as being males and females, here they're using the word god and goddess, it's obviously beyond that, right? And in the Western tradition, we find out that the unfallen angels, the Malaika, light beings, whatever you want to call them, they don't have a choice whether to do good or evil, that sort of thing. So one wants that without ambiguity or guile, rather than spirits that you have to test and you're always not going to be sure.